CATIA V5. So on my video regarding how to optimize imported files in CATIA, I receive a comment with two questions. So let's take a look at the first one. Does having only a solid model of a standard part, such as a bolt, or having all the features under the model make the CATIA file lighter? Which one is useful for large assemblies? So in order to showcase this, I prepared the following files over here. Let me also open the file. So if I will go all the way over here with defining work object, I model the following screw over here. So I will go all the way to the slot. So this will be the file. And at the end, I also use the multiple extract, and I selected all the surfaces over here. And I have those as an individual surface. I also have the file save over here. So as you can see, this will be the screw without the multiple extract. And as we can see, this will be a CATIA part and will be around 774 kilobytes. For the same model, but as a step file, this will be lighter. But keep in mind that it's usually a good idea to have that history retained, so the parametric changes and everything. If I will just open that individual file, so let me minimize all of those. And this will be the step of the same screw. I see that also the file hasn't been properly converted, as we can see over here. So there is no solid body over here within that. Let me just define this as a work object. And I will try to save this again. So this will be as a step. I will call this screw 1. I will have that saved. And let's take a look if I will open that again. It should have geometry because we see the file size over here. So currently now it's almost the same as the CATIA file. But again, we see that there are no geometric elements added. Let me just open SolidWorks, for example, and rapidly I will drag and drop the same file because I'm curious if the geometry will be, let's say, created over there. Let me just open that screw over here within Solid. Solid should now convert this, and let's see if there's any geometry. There should be some geometry because the file size is quite large. And as we can see, Solid, in this case 2021, with service spec 1, was managed to open that. And we have that imported geometry over here. So imported 1, imported 2. On imported 2, if I will hide that, so those two will be linked, we're going to have the following geometry. So in this case, CATIA didn't manage to load that properly. But if I'm going to open the following file, which will be surface screw, we're going to see that this will be a lot lighter. So 354 kilobytes over here. And within the product tree, we only going to have the following surface. So currently there's no solid body attached to this. It's only the, let's say, the surface, the exterior of this screw over here. And yeah, we're gonna say that this will be lighter, but the main disadvantage is that this will be a little bit harder to work with. We can still use some constraints if we're not doing assembly, but overall it is better to use the initial model over here that has all the parametric history. Because regarding the file size, we see that there are no large differences. So even though I save this as a step file, we see that the file size will be quite similar to the original CATIA file in this case. Also keep in mind that for the original CATIA file, we also have the multiple extract over here, which I can activate with defining work object. So we also have that converted. But once we save that, this will be the second important tool. So this is why we have two elements over here. We have imported one, which is the initial one, and imported two will be the multiple extract. Because if I will delete that, and I will go all the way to the slot, and I will save this as let's say screw 2 as a step. Now if I will drag and drop that over here within Solid, we should only have one imported over there. So let's take a look. We see the file size has also been reduced because I deleted that secondary surface. So even though the geometry was the same and it covered the same area over here, we imported one, imported two. One was a solid body, one was a surface. The file size increased. So as we can see, usually surface is lighter than a solid body, but within various assemblies, it's a little bit harder to work with surface onlys. But we can also always convert those. So for example, if I will go over here within screw surface, and I'm currently within generative shape design, but we can also do that in part design. If I will swap over here, we have the possibility to use the closed surface. We can select it, and we're going to have that converted. So again, this will be compatible with part design, and we can start to work on this. Now, for the second question over here, is it lighter and more performant if the same standard part, such as a bolt, is a solid model or just a surface? So it's quite similar with the first one. Over here we had all those features, but this was regarding surface and solid model that I just discussed previously over here. And if I will jump over here within a blank CATIA session, I will drag and drop the same Lego Land Rover. As you can see, this will be quite heavy. So over 2006 megabytes. We're gonna see that CATIA will start to convert this. So within my previous video, I showed how to rapidly hide all the axes. So this Lego technique has over 2000 components. Therefore, it will take quite a bit of time to have that processed. So we see it's now slowly loading all those files. But usually it is better to use CATIA files, because we can also optimize the, let's say we have a larger assembly and we can use various activate and deactivate on some components or features in order to make it lighter. And usually if you're also gonna hide it, it will also increase our performance. Just like within this scene that is currently being loaded, we see the estimated time is quite long, but it should process a little bit faster now. We're gonna see, just like within my previous video, where I have hide all of those axis systems, so over 2160 I think, and the scene was a lot lighter afterwards. But initially, when we had all of those visible, so nothing has been deleted from the CATIA file, they are still over there present. But the main difference is that those will no longer be rendered within the viewport. They will be present onto the second desktop where we have all the hidden elements. And now I just want to wait for this file to be converted in order to showcase that. And I think that that is the best solution to optimize large files. So it should process this. It's already 60% completed. It will move a little bit slower since I also have Solid open over here. But just as a rapid comparison, I will drag and drop the step file over here within Solid. And we're gonna see how Solid will process this. I made a similar video regarding step file, and between CATIA SolidWorks and Fusion. Fusion managed to open the step file fastest by quite a large lead. So we have CATIA almost processed with that large step file. So we see that this is not that large, so 206 megabytes, but overall there are so many components that even converting those in order to have them open within CATIA, we see that it takes quite a lot of time. Okay, so all of those components have now been converted. The scene should open okay, and we have that converted. We see the final visualization, so 1900 parts over here. But regarding the axis system, there will be more than that, because some parts will have a 2-axis system in this case. So the file has been loaded and is currently now loaded for visualization, and we have it over here. I will hide that notification. As we can see, it's quite laggy, so I'm zooming in and zooming out, and we see how that will slowly react to those features. And within SolidWorks, we're gonna see that document will be created on disk. So this is something differently that SolidWorks will do. Actually, when we're gonna import the file, I will click OK, and within that same folder, SolidWorks will start and convert all of those within individual parts. So as you can see over here, some of those Lego parts are now being saved, and this is again something different between CATIA and Solid. We're gonna see how those parts will be created. So this will take quite a while. Probably a lot more time than CATIA needed. So we have all of those, and as you can see, it's really lagging. But if I will go over here to edit, search, just like within my last rapid video, from element, I will select one axis over here. Afterwards, I will search, look everywhere, because I want to look within the whole. Over here, I will type, I will check the display all. I will select the first element, go all the way to the last one, hold down shift. We're going to see that all will be selected. I will click select. And now I have the hide command set to Alt V, but I can also right click and hide all of those. We're going to see how those will be hidden. Now, because I just hide this, so let me just do that, and I will just use the hotkey because it will be better. Because from that selection, I only hide this one, so port bagage, that part. And only the axis from that part actually. So again, select the first one. Control A doesn't work over here, just like within Blender. So we need to use this shift selection. And I know that if I will press Alt and V, this will hide everything. So as you can see over here, I added this custom hotkey over here. But now with those hidden, we see how easily this will respond, and I can easily interact with large components. And over here, for example, if I don't want to see this visible, I can always go over here within this one, when we can either activate or deactivate the component. And this will be quite similar to with the hide. The only difference is that everything that we hide will be docked over here within the second visible space. As we can see, we have the axis, and this is again lagging this viewport because we have all those reference planes. And since this object has been deactivated, not set to hidden, it will not be transferred over there. And we can always activate again over here if you're gonna go to activate the activate component. And if you're gonna take a look at SolidWorks, it will still slowly process those. So currently we only have 97 files over here, and out of those two The first will be this, so the original step and this ERR file. So this should also need to go around almost 2000 pieces. This will take a while. So this was the video regarding file optimization, and CATIA has it a little bit better than SolidWorks, especially when working with step files. Okay, so I hope you find this video useful. I will position a similar video over here on the left side and a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.